welcome to Long Live Baseball. My name is Seth Dewald. You can find me on Twitter at Seth_. With me, as always, the frenemy, the Cubs fan who will never change his mind or his fandom, Mike Jones. How are you doing today, Mike?
I'm to turn the finger so that you didn't think I'm giving you the 2-finger salute. It looks a little weird this way when you say friend of me. So I had to turn it so that you could understand. Maybe I should just go with the full salute.
Yeah.
How you doing? I'm doing good. I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about because Cubs baseball sucks right now. We just lost to the Colorado Rockies. I had a streak of 5 going. I wish I could. I'm using my phone as my camera. I wish I could show you my beat the streak numbers. I had Jordan Alvarez was like 4 for 4, 2 for 4. Harper went 2 for 4. And then I picked Ian Happ today instead of Aaron Judge. Judge hits 2 homers. Happ goes 0 for.
Yeah. Well, the Cardinals lost. The Cardinals lost to the Reds today. So,
what are the Cardinals still leading the division? Do they have it wrapped up yet? Can we get on with this? Can we get the postseason over with and get on to next year? Can we? They are. This is typical Cubs fan. Let's wait. Let's go to next year. 7.5 up right now. I don't think that counts today. So I don't know what Milwaukee's up to today. Let me check. Milwaukee lost, so we're still 7.5 up. Milwaukee.
Anyway, so it's nothing really much has changed with the standings at all. And I don't know. It's this I don't know if it's good that they're getting it out of their system, but it just feels like the Cardinals offense the past several games, like if you could look at their game by game performance, like I think they won last night 1-0 in extra innings. So the Cardinals offense all of a sudden has gone anemic, which I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Maybe the Iowa Hawkeyes have had an impact on them or something.
Well, the Iowa Hawkeyes scored. I don't know if you saw last night, but they scored 27 points, which doubled their season or total for the season.
I was not going to stay up until 3:00 in the morning in the middle of a Midwest thunderstorm to watch the end of that one. Did you watch the end of that one?
I did not. I could not. But yeah, so the Cardinals, I guess 2 runs, 6 runs, 5 runs, 1 run, and 0 runs today against the Reds. So I don't know. Like I said, it's good that we're in first place and the season is coming quickly to a close. We have coming up the Padres and the Dodgers.
What is there, like 18, 6, 8, 9, 10 games left?
Something like that. I'm 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Cardinals have 14 games left.
14 games.
6 of those are against the Pirates. So that's interesting. We have 3 against the Padres, 3 against the Dodgers, 2 against the Brewers, and then 6 against the Pirates to wrap up the season. And, it looks like we're pretty locked into that 3 seed, which means we're not going to get a bye. I know the Cardinals have come out and basically said that they're pushing to get the 2 seed, which would mean they would have to overtake either the Mets or the Braves, whoever wins the NL East. But I don't know how with 14 games left to play, I don't know how realistic that is. I think that they're, what would they be, like 5 or 6 games behind those 2 teams in the standings? 5, maybe 5.5 if I'm doing my math right. I'm really not quite sure, but anyway, they just updated it. So I guess we're 8 games up. Anyway.
All right. So we tried to help, the Cubs tried to help you out by sweeping the Mets in New York, which that was some sort of record-setting event. A team that, was, I don't know, only so many games over 500, sweeping a first-place team on their home field. First time it's happened since 1921 or something. I'm learning a lot about meaningless stats this season. I mean, it's amazing what Major League Ball clubs. I mean, it's amazing what they'll celebrate. Like this Cubs team is setting all sets of records. I mean, all sorts of records. I can't tell you, like all these incredibly meaningless records by finishing third or fourth. I don't even know where we're at in the standings right now, to be honest with you. We're probably third or fourth.
You're third. You're in third place.
All right. So I guess I'm okay with that. The big thing is, so we parted ways with Frank the Tank.
Mm-hmm.
We DFA'd him, and then, which it's all part of the process, I suppose. We pulled up Wazinski, Wazinski. I don't know what his name is. It's something like that. It's a C. It's a knee in the end. It's got a Y at the end. Wesneski, I think, but we called him up, and he's nasty Wensky, whatever his name is. He's got a nasty slider that moves about 30 feet. I don't know if you've seen him pitch, but he's been putting up some impressive numbers for a guy that we just drafted this year.
Okay.
And so there's some pitching promise coming up. There's the South Bend Cubs won they're playing in the Midwest League Championship. The Myrtle Beach Pelicans had a great season. I don't know what's going on in Iowa, even though I live here. But that seems to be where the most of the excitement is. You know what I mean? Right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, we do have, there's some things to be excited about at the major league level too, but I don't know. It's been kind of a painful season. Every time I start to get excited about this team, they lay an egg or, end my beat the streak, or somebody gets hurt. I don't know. Just one of those years. I guess baseball's like that, huh?
Yeah, no, baseball, I mean, and we'll see, like, with the playoffs fast approaching, we'll see what the matchups are. I mean, some of them kind of look like they're set in stone, but others might not be. I mean, if you look at the standings right now, I mean, the Dodgers would appear to be locked into the 1 seed. The Mets or Braves are likely the 2, so those 2 teams would have the bye. Then the Cardinals look to be locked into the 3rd slot. And for whatever reason, this doesn't show me wild card teams, but it would be the Braves. Let's see, the Phillies and the Padres look to be the 3 wild card teams right now in the National League. So if the Cardinals keep that 3 seed, they would play whoever the worst team is out of those wild card teams. Like, they would play the one with the worst record, if I understand it right. Then the 2 wild card teams, the one with the best record would play the one with the second best record. And then if the Cardinals advance, they would play the 2 seed likely. Yeah, they would play the 2 seed. So that's, I think.
So really what you're saying is you could end up with the Cardinals in the championship series getting swept by the Dodgers again.
Yeah. Okay. It's possible.
Okay.
But it wouldn't be. I mean, we only played that 1 game play-in, which is no more, by the way. I don't think they're not doing the 1 game play-in. It's a 3-game series.
Well, yeah, you don't make enough money with a 1 game play-in.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Am I sounding a little cynical today?
Maybe you're a little surly. I think you're just talking about the, Wisniewski from the West Pine Bluff Cubs, in 1 AA ball or whatever.
He's been called up.
Okay.
I mean, Hayden Wesneski. I'm pretty sure that's who it is.
Yeah. As the people that you're excited about. I mean, these are the people. And yeah, I mean, if you're a Cubs fan, I mean, this is kind of the direction you have to look to. And I don't know, like you're almost looking ahead to next season. I mean, you got to be looking ahead to next season, right? And looking at what kind of free agents are out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's always next year. That's, yeah, I mean, free agency. The interesting part is, Nico freaking Horner, who in every conceivable metric out there is in like the top 3 of all shortstops in the major leagues in terms of his defensive play. And he's showing that he can handle the stick a little bit. But right now, free agency is shortstops. I mean, there's some guys out there. And so the talk is, well, do we go ahead and go after a shortstop? I don't know. I don't know. To me, Nico Horner can be one of the core pieces that you can build that team around. The way he plays defense, he's hit the ball pretty well. And then you got Christopher Morel, who I think is, those guys right there. When I talk about those guys, those are the guys that I think about in terms of they're kind of the next Rizzo. And so it'll be interesting to see what free agency brings. They say we're going to spend a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So,
looking at the shortstops, it looks like Trey Turner is a unrestricted free agent at the end of the season, according to Spot Track. It looks him and Dansby Swanson would be probably the 2 premier shortstops on the market.
Yeah.
I thought Carlos Correa was too, but he's not showing up here for whatever.
That's weird because I thought he was too, but
yeah, I thought he only signed a 1-year deal. But you got players. The Trey Turner is at the top of that list. You have some starting pitchers too that are going to be free agents. Noah Syndergaard, Nathan Eovaldi from Boston, Clayton Kershaw is due to be a free agent. Although I thought he signed an extension. What are we looking at here? Why is I don't know. Spot Tracks is what I'm looking at.
Okay.
And I sorted it under unrestricted free agents.
Okay.
So I'm just going off of that list.
I mean, starting pitching, that's something that is kind of exciting to me. I mean, look at Quintana comes out and what did he do? Was it today that he pitched for you guys, or was it yesterday?
Who? Oh, Quintana.
Quintana, yeah.
I think that was yesterday.
Yeah, he had like 7 innings, 2 hits. I mean,
yeah,
Montgomery against the Reds, but
yeah. Well, Montgomery and him have been unbelievable since coming
lights
over.
Out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he have come to the north side and done that? I don't know. He just never was that. I don't know. And Javier Assad, another one of our pitcher, guys. I mean, he pitched today and he didn't have a great outing, but probably one of his worst outings yet. But Justin Steele, Keegan Thompson, there's some hope, I guess, for next year. That's the big that in September of next year that will be as cynical as I've been today. We're in third. I mean, and so, and with who?
Yeah. No, I mean, you're going to have money to spend. And, like you've been saying, who else is on this list is Aaron Judge, who, according to, as far as I know, has not been re-signed yet by the Yankees. I'm assuming that they will do everything they can to keep him because he's coming off of a great season where he's hit like 55 home runs. I mean, so you never know. I mean, Aaron Judge would, I think, be a perfect fit in Chicago. But we'll see. I mean, we'll have plenty of time to talk about free agency and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you would think the Cubs would be spenders. But there's a couple things going on, and with just topically with the Cardinals right now. As you know, on Wednesday, Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina beat the record, or set the record rather, for most starts as a battery team, pitcher catcher combo. So they go down in the record books. Like I said on our last show, I don't think that's a record that's ever going to get broken. I hope I'm wrong. And then you have a couple nights ago, Albert hit 698. And we have 14 games left, and he's got to get 2 home runs. Hey, so my question for you is, do you think he's going to do it?
Well, is it just me, or is every one of those home runs that Albert has hit, especially in the past couple of weeks, been middle, 88 mile an hour fastballs? I mean, I've seen a few replays of some of those home runs, and they sure do seem suspicious to me.
This is a new low for you. This is even for you. This is an all-time low.
You don't think it's been at all suspicious? I mean,
no, I don't think he hit the last one he hit out was on a hanging slider, and he was struck out by the guy in the previous at bat.
A hanging slider, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Sliders hang, huh? Sliders.
Well, that's just what it's called.
Or was it just a slider that was middle? Is that what you're?
It was down it was supposed to move and it didn't. So I don't know.
Was it down and away? I mean, I don't know. It just seems a little suspect.
That's all right. Let's call up the commissioner's office. Mike would like to report that a first ballot Hall of Famer is being airlifted to 700 home runs for no reason whatsoever.
A 72-year-old first ballot Hall of Famer, and for no reason whatsoever. I mean, come on. There's a little bit of excitement being generated isn't there?
Who's covering this?
Who's covering?
Yeah.
What?
Like how all this? We're not. We're in little rinky-dinky small town. St. Louis. So nobody cares. Like if this was going on Chicago, you would have been throwing a parade. Like there would have been 3 parades by now with all the ESPN cameras and Joe Buck but it's in St. Louis, so it really hasn't gotten much media attention as far as I know.
Well, I mean, St. Louis is the violent crime capital of the world. I mean, you can't just say it's a little rinky-dink town when they're at the top of that list. You know what I mean? And so
yeah.
I think there has been some coverage about it. I mean, it's been on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, there's dog videos on Twitter too.
Well, that's where I get my news. So when I'm watching the videos of the home runs, I'm like, I don't know. There's just something little fishy about how he's, Yeah. But hey, I will give you this though. Tip of the hat. I mean, on the battery longevity record, that pretty awesome. And Yelich, I didn't think he had I didn't know there was a bone of class in his body, and he took that first pitch and let him keep the ball, and all that kind of stuff. That was a little suspect too. I mean, he didn't even put the bat on his shoulder. Middle fastball.
Here's Mike Jones just coming to shit all over everything Cardinals. Here he is, folks. He's here. He's here to just records. Are they really records, or is everybody just propping up St. Louis in this illusional propaganda machine that we call the universe of baseball? Is Rob Manfred involved? Can we really believe anything that we're seeing? How sure are we that these records are really? Maybe we should double check the paperwork. I don't know if it's been validated by anybody in quite some time. So
You can't. I mean, you can't even say that it's just a little bit amazing that Albert Pujols is doing what he's doing right now.
He still has to hit it out, Mike.
Yeah, I know. It is pretty amazing when you get to thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, if he sucked, like, I mean, you could fire me BP fastballs and I couldn't hit it out of Bush, so if you're washed up.
Yeah. I suppose that's true.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'll give you that.
All right. I'm glad we've established that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, do you think he's going to get there? Your answer is probably yes. He's probably going to hit 10 more because they're just going to, because everybody wants to be the guy that gave up number 700 and go.
Well,
like Steve Trexel was the Chicago Cub who gave up the 62nd home run to Mark McGwire.
I think it would be appropriate to look at the StatCast numbers of the pitches that Albert has recently cranked out of, the various stadiums that he's played in, as he's been approaching 700.
Okay.
I mean, we do have data. We do have data about that. So
yeah.
All right. I think he's gonna make it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Did you think that a month ago?
No.
Why not?
Because he wasn't. Maybe a month ago I thought maybe it was possible, but like 2 or 3 months ago, absolutely no way. I mean, he's been on an absolute tear.
Yeah.
In August, like he was. I mean, really, he's also come in clutch. So if you want to punch another hole in your conspiracy theory, these home runs are coming at pretty crucial times in the game. So it's like, not only are you giving up a home run, but you're giving up a home run to tie the game in like meaningful games, like, I don't know, against the Brewers. And so either every team is throwing these games away, like just, yeah, sure, let's dance alongside this Cardinal parade that's being thrown. And anyway, so I just think you're, I don't know. Are you okay? I'm kind of worried about you.
Good for him. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Cardinal. Raspberry.
Yeah, it's a raspberry. Do you have a dictionary segment today, Mike, or are we skipping that?
A dictionary segment?
Yeah. Do you have a word?
What were we at last week? We were battery, right? Did we do battery?
Yeah, we were in the bees.
Are you singing the theme song again this week?
Yeah, unless you don't want me to.
Well, I mean, I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just where you have a dictionary.
I do.
Okay, we were here. Let me get my dictionary because I left it over
from
here.
Time to time, I pull out my dictionary.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Let's not ruin it. All right. Like, let's not overdo it.
Let's not overdo it, he says, as he stands up to go get his dictionary.
Hey,
do you ever consider keeping your dictionary in a more I don't know, handy spot? I mean, you have to go quite a ways to get your dictionary, and mine's right here. Always within reach. You've got to slide your chair across the room.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I mean, for the,
I don't know. It's just I'm always I always keep my dictionary safe. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll have to consider that. So are you ready?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, whenever you're ready.
All right. It's the Dixon's baseball dictionary segment of the show where Mike pulls out his dictionary.
Yeah, so I'm on page 229, and
229.
Yeah, this is an interesting term. I was gonna go to crush, but I think everybody knows what crush means, right?
Yeah.
What Albert Pujols has been crushing 88 mile per hour middle fastballs to the outer decks or the bleachers, etc. But I don't think I'm going to do that one because everybody knows what it is. How about a cudgel?
Oh, cudgel.
A cudgel. Yeah, you ever heard of a cudgel?
I think so.
Yeah,
like a blunt instrument of some kind.
Yeah, and this in the idea of the Dixon Baseball Dictionary, however, a cudgel is a baseball bat.
Okay.
First used in 1904. Frank Hulsman, Frank Hulsman is a power at the bat, and all teams dread the moment he takes up his cudgel. For the fences are none too far for him to reach. Or, alternatively, to hit a pitched ball. Buck Weaver cudgeled a 3-bagger to the deepest corner between the right and center terraces. New York Times, October 7th, 1919. Not a word you hear used very often in our,
No,
vocabulary.
I can't. Right above cudgel is the many names for the Cubs.
Right. Yeah.
Did you know that the Cubbies is an affectionate nickname for the Chicago Cubs, making it a nickname for a nickname? Joey Johnston, Tampa Tribune, October 6, 1984, wrote, "The Cubbies? Other teams aren't called the Metsies or the Soxies, but the Chicago Cubs are different. They are not just a team, but a shared experience that has been passed down through the generations."
Absolutely.
Doesn't that qualify for any other team too?
A nickname of a nickname. Can you think of another team that has a nickname? The Cardinals, the Cards.
The Cards, yeah.
The Redbirds.
Redbirds, yeah.
The Cubs, the Cubbies. Okay. Yeah. Who else? The Sox, the Sox.
Sox.
The Sox.
Yanks.
Yankees, Tigers.
Yeah.
Tigers.
No, Tigers don't have one.
Twins, Twinkies.
Okay.
What else?
Rays, but they shortened it from Devil Rays to Rays.
Yeah. Nobody ever calls them the Devil Rays.
You know what's hilarious is we were watching the Cardinals D-backs game. Are they the D-backs or the Diamondbacks?
It's the Diamondbacks because it's a rattler. Have you ever noticed the logo for the Diamondbacks? The A.
Mm-hmm.
You look at it sideways, which is bizarre to me, but it's a rattlesnake head with the teeth and everything. You don't really notice. Might be, I don't know, in my opinion, might be one of the worst mascot logos, out there. Just saying.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish they'd bring back their old uniforms. I think their older uniforms are better than their newer ones.
Yeah. I like the D-backs. Yeah.
D-backs. But the funny part about that is Abby, the first time, I think it was Abby, but it was somebody I was watching with. Who are you guys playing? Is that the D-bags? Like they thought it said D-bags on their shirt or on their jerseys.
Yeah. You see, I like their they've got an alternate jersey, the Serpentinos. And it's kind of got that desert color. I like that one.
Yeah.
Their, Hispanic heritage jersey or something like that. But the Bronx Bombers, the what else? The Dodgers. What is it? They got a nickname?
I don't know if they do. Do they?
Well, good question. Dodgers, yeah, maybe not. Yeah, they do. They've got to have the Bronx Bombers. That's the Yankees, right?
Yep.
And the that's an interesting conversation there. Like all of the different nicknames for ball clubs. I like it. But one thing's for sure, they all use a cudgel.
That is true. And now you know, because of the Dixon's Baseball Dictionary segment of this show. A cudgel. And you should pick yourself up baseball or Paul Dixon's The Dixon Baseball Dictionary, 3rd edition, at a bookstore near you. Don't go near that Amazon because it's not a friendly place. You might think it is, but you should order it from your local bookstore.
If you pick up a copy, you can follow along with us.
As we go through this journey together on this dictionary journey
of improving our baseball vernacular. Speaking of bookstores, here is my gift certificate to our local bookstore. It seems a little
tattered.
Well, it went through the wash. It was in my back pocket.
Yeah.
And I almost lost it, but I didn't. I've got it. Good. And I will use it. And you know what? I will use it. I will use this gift certificate to purchase for one of our listeners who comments on I don't even want to use the term conspiracy theory. I want just the whole Pujols hitting homers late in his career, the whole going away party thing. If we have a listener who comments either one way or the other on that, their beliefs on that, I will use this tattered gift certificate for the bookstore to purchase for them a copy of the Dixon's Baseball Dictionary. It will be, shipping is not included.
So they're going to have to pay shipping?
They got to pay shipping. This book, it's not like this book is, it's going to cost.
It's going to cost like an arm and a leg to ship that thing. I mean, some poor guy has to carry that for miles. Miles. I mean, you don't know where these people that are going to comment on the show live. They could be living in Antarctica, Alaska, up near the North Pole.
I mean, what if I have to ship internationally? That adds a whole nother.
I know you can't be shelling out for you get a free book. You can't be complaining about the shipping costs. I mean,
exactly.
Come on.
I mean, so maybe we'll consider picking up shipping.
Yeah.
But if
you comment favorably, I might pick up the shipping. We'll see. Well, it depends on how good the comment is. I can't just be giving away shipping fees.
Yeah, I just want someone to wax on eloquently about the debate involving Pujols and his home runs. If you're a Cardinals fan,
debate. There's no what debate? What debate?
Well, the debate that we're having, obviously.
It's not even a debate. It's like, oh, do you think that maybe that they're just doing a whole slow pitch softball game for Pujols? Like, do you think? Yeah.
You wouldn't call that a debate?
No, it's like when somebody's just so painstakingly wrong about something, you can't just because I come in here and say, you know what? I think 2 + 2 is 3. It doesn't make it a debate. It's like, no, you're wrong. And we're not going to waste any more time on that.
All right.
Facts have been established. It's been documented.
If somebody brings, and there are out there, if somebody digs into the StatCast stuff and finds out that the average pitch velocity for home runs that Albert Pujols has, gone yard with in the last month of September here is lower than what? Let's pick a figure.
You could also make the argument that the lower the speed velocity, the harder it would be to hit it out of the park, because the harder it comes in, the harder it goes out, right?
I suppose there's some truth to that. All right. Anyway, comment.
Okay. Moving on.
Comment on the debate. and you win a book.
The great debate of our time.
You win a book from. I will tell you this too. It's from our local bookstore, Burlington by the Book, in Burlington, Iowa. Not some big box store. Nope. It's Burlington by the Book. Don't know if you can read it. It's a little wrinkly. Burlington.
It's got a hole in it. It's got a hole in there too.
And I'm also a little bit disappointed because I've yet to receive my. Well, I mean, I'm not disappointed, but I'm relatively surprised that I haven't. My wife came into the house the other day with another gnome, and she tried to hide it from me. She did.
Sounds like the foundation for a solid. No wonder you guys have made it this far. I mean, she's getting gnomes for you. I mean, I don't know why she would have to hide a gnome.
She was showing it to my daughter, whispering.
Oh.
Look what I got. I got another gnome. Because I told her about the whole gnome thing. She doesn't watch the show. I mean,
we can say whatever we want.
So I had to tell her about it and show her the video.
Oh, you did?
Well, not that part.
Know,
I showed her the video of the other part.
Oh, okay. Does she know about the Baseball Dictionary segment of the show?
The jingle. She knows about it.
Okay, good. I'm so happy. But the hell, we're supposed to be talking about baseball. So how many gnomes are you up to now?
I think, that's what we'll have to do at some point is go on a gnome count. I mean, I hate to, it gets you get a little seasick, a little, I don't know, a little vertigo if I start carrying the camera around, showing the pictures of, showing all the gnomes, but I can count them. I'll count them for you and I'll let you know next week.
Okay. We'll be eagerly anticipating the count of the gnomes. Let us know how many gnomes you think Mike Jones has in his house right now in the comment section. The person who's closest will also receive a Dixon's Baseball Dictionary. I can't say the name of this book. The
right.
Dixon Baseball Dictionary copy of it, so you can follow along with us every week as we go through each and every single word in the dictionary. And we'll get there eventually, maybe 100 years from now. I'm sure we'll be alive. But I don't know. Is there any other final topics? I mean, Cardinals are in first. We're going to the playoffs. Cubs are not. End of story. I mean, I don't know if there's anything more I need to say.
No, I mean, I think good on the Cardinals for doing the work. Doing the work that got them here. I mean, that's the bottom line. They when they started picking up some of these guys, Arenado, Goldschmidt. People were worried, I mean, that's, and rightfully so, it just, we just had a better team for so long that, they really couldn't go through that ceiling. And then, the Cubs sold everybody off. And so that opened the door for mediocrity in the National League Central. And so, now the Cardinals are back on top. And the Brewers.
When you
have I talked to you about Matt Mervis? Have I said
hold on, you're trying to pass this over. You say we've had a better team for so long, how many years do you think the Cubs had a better team than the Cardinals?
Well, I mean, at least 5 or 6 years, I would, wouldn't you say?
I mean, haven't we won the division multiple times in the last 5 years?
I haven't been paying much attention unless the Cubs are winning.
And how can you say, if you haven't been paying attention, how can you say that we've had a better team? Well, clearly we've had a better team for so long. It's hard to remember. It's hard to remember a time in the yesteryear when we were bad, when we were worse than the Cardinals. So
Don't you agree, though? Don't you agree that the Cubs have had a good ball club for prior to last July, a good ball club for a considerable period of time?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no question about it.
So.
No, yeah.
All right. So now that we're done with that conversation, which apparently you didn't think we were done with, have I talked to you about Matt Mervis?
No, you have not.
They're calling him Mash Mervis.
Mash Mervis.
Yeah, he's. I think that he's going to be another name that you're going to be hearing about at some point.
This sounds like Frank Schwindel all over again. But
yeah, but I don't think Schwindel ever had the same kinds of numbers. He is kind of Schwindel-ish, though. I would say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Any let's see. I don't know if there's is this a tough kind of content time? Because Mike doesn't want to talk about. I mean, really, what we should be talking about, oh my God, like the records that are being set, this historic moments in baseball. But Mike is just he's not having any of it. So I'm not sure what to do for our audience.
What records? I mean? Let's go ahead and talk about some of the records that are being set. What are some of the records that are being set?
We talked about the battery, right?
Right. I tipped the hat for the battery.
Yeah. And then the Pujols, the 698.
Okay.
He passed A-Rod, and he's joining elite company there. Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, approaching that.
A-Rod. Okay. Was A-Rod part of the steroid era?
Yes. Huh. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. Good discussion.
I mean, isn't that who he passed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Not. Anyway. So
do you think Pujols is in? I mean, would you put Pujols into the same category as the other two guys that you mentioned?
Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
I think you have to, just based on the numbers, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
And we're watching him now
play.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Do you think how many years did it take Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron to get to those numbers?
It's a good question. I could bring it up right now.
I think it'd be interesting to see how many years it took them versus how many years, it took Pujols to get to the same numbers. I think that'd be interesting, or A-Rod for that matter.
I will tell you that Hank Aaron started playing in 1954, and his last year was 1976. So roughly 22 years?
22 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about Pujols? How long's he been at it?
Let's see, 20. Yeah, this 21 years. Because he came up when he was 21. Yeah, so it's about similar.
So speaking of 22, 21 years, the Dodgers are the quickest team to 100 wins in 21 years.
Wow.
There's another record.
Yeah. I mean, you think they'll beat I think the Seattle Mariners hold the record for the most wins. I think they won 116 games. I don't think they can break that record.
Yeah.
But
what was the record? What was the record that the Oakland A's set when they were
winning streak, right? They won 20 games in a row.
Yeah, or something more than that, maybe even, huh? Yeah. That's right. That's a pretty significant record, but so Pujols is, considered a record holder now, is he?
I don't know if he's a record holder, but he's in the record books as, one of the best hitters of all time.
All right. There you go.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey,
do you remember when Pujols was coming back to the Cardinals, and you were like, I don't know if I like this.
Did I say that? I don't remember.
No, you didn't say that, but I think you thought it.
I was, it's funny, just to talk about this for a minute. Like, obviously, I was really excited when we signed Pujols, and we came up with the joke like AARP as the Cardinals, because Molina and Wainwright and Pujols are combined, 365 years old, but they've really been performing this year. Like especially Pujols and Wainwright. Yachty's been hitting here recently. I think he had a home run the other night. And it just feels like no matter what, like Albert, worst case scenario, he comes in, he hits 186, 5 home runs, is a part-time player. And it would have sucked to see him at the end of his career not performing well. But now that he is, it takes you back to, it's almost like we're watching 28-year-old Albert Pujols at times, because the home runs he's hitting are not typical, like, oh, it just barely got out of the park. These are classic moonshot home runs that he's hitting, and it's in really clutch spots. Like I said, like it's these aren't just any home runs. These are home runs to tie games, to put the Cardinals ahead, getting key hits, and it's like what he used to do for this club. So it's going to be interesting once we hit the playoffs to see how Marmol uses him. Is he going to be in the lineup every day or every game for those playoff games? Are they going to limit him to just facing left-handed hitters who he's done really well against? It's going to be interesting to see how they use him, because I would almost wonder if you have to put him in the lineup as your designated hitter every day, even though you're going to be facing right-handed pitchers, because the Cardinals have struggled against right-handed pitchers this year and they've crushed left-handers. So we'll see. That's going to be something interesting to monitor. And if I had to guess, it's just going to be Marmol's going to keep on doing what he's been doing, and he's just going to play the matchup game.
Right.
So, and when we think about ahead to the playoff matchup, I think the Cardinals would prefer to face, and this sounds, I think it's crazy to say this, but the combination of Scherzer, who I saw is a little banged up, maybe. I might have seen that come across the wire, but the combination of Scherzer and DeGrom, 2 right-handed pitchers, it just seems like a nightmare matchup for the Cardinals. I'd almost rather face the Dodgers. I don't know.
The Cardinals, the Cubs had a pretty good outing against DeGrom. That was kind of fun to watch. But yeah, it'll be interesting. The people that say such things basically talk about that Pujols has a 40.9% chance of finishing with at least 700 runs as of September 18th. He has a 23.6% chance of finishing with exactly 700 home runs. Who does that? Who does that math? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, it's how do you figure that? I mean, just he's hitting a home run and on average and at once every 23 at bats, and we can determine that he's likely going to be in the starting lineup these days, and so he's going to get this many at bats. I don't know if that's how you do it or not.
If he plays in all of St. Louis's remaining games, he has a 62.2% chance to reach the 700 home run mark and a 27.1% to finish with exactly 700 home runs. And there are people that are actually working out simulations to figure out whether or not, what can happen in regards to whether or not he can get there. So to say that it's not getting any press, Sporting News is reporting on it and mashing the numbers.
Well, good. I'm glad they're covering history in the making right before our eyes. I mean, they should be, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, no,
good.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but we as a show could go out now. I saw a video and buy a jetpack. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but
No.
it's a real life Boba Fett jetpack. None of this water stuff. They're real now. And I don't know if they're going to be sold to the common people. I don't know if this is going to be considered military grade, whatever equipment. But we now live in a world with a jetpack because I saw a video on Twitter of a guy who looked like Tony Stark with his jetpack, and he looked like Iron Man, and he seemed to have pretty good control over the jetpack, almost as good of control as Adam Wainwright has over his curveball.
Is this the thing? Are these the things that go on the guy's hands, and then he's got a backpack full of jet fuel?
Yep.
Yeah, that seems safe.
Yeah, I know. It's can't wait to get my hands on one. But anyway, any final words from Mike Jones here before we wrap up the show?
Are you serious when you say that you'd like to have a jetpack?
I mean, think of all the things you could do with a jetpack. I mean, I can't imagine they would just let you walk into the store with a jetpack.
Well,
would there be would the greeter at Walmart, like, I need to get my groceries fast. I have this jetpack. I can't be waiting in these aisles forever. Like, I need to fly over the top to get to where I need to be. Right? You gotta like, no, you can't wear your jetpack in here, sir. Is that going to be a whole nother level of freedom that's going to be taken away from jetpack users? Are we really gonna do this? Like, is it gonna be that dangerous where you can't operate a jetpack inside? I feel like that's wrong.
Well, you know what I'm amazed by? We've been having such a great show, and then you bring up this nonsense about jetpacks. But you know what I'm actually more interested in than the jetpack thing?
I'm just beating you to the punch. It's usually you that's like, the thing about Argyle socks. I bought a pair last night. They already have a hole in them, and I don't know. I can't wear these anymore. I'm gonna have to go to the store and complain. Anyway, were we talking about baseball? Let me pull out my dictionary.
Yeah. Well, listen. I guess speaking of socks, I've got New Balance shoes. Somebody said, "Hey, I like your grandpa shoes," and I'm not.
Wow.
I don't think they're grandpa shoes. I mean, I think they're more like dad shoes. I thought they were dad shoes.
Okay.
But anyway, it's okay to do this. Now, this is not product placement, by the way. Is it okay to wear these socks with my New Balance tennis shoes?
I don't subscribe to any sort of fashion rules. I do what I want to do.
Obviously.
I don't take any fluff from anybody. So if they're giving you trouble about your grandpa shoes, first of all, they're trying to construct a whole nother level of shame in attire, and I don't like that at all. They're trying to make themselves cool and put you down, put you and your grandpa shoes down, like, because dad shoes are also uncool, but I would assume grandpa shoes are a whole nother level of uncool. Unless it's cool to be a grandpa, it's hard to know what's cool and what's not cool. You know what I mean? Because like the cool stuff, you look at it and I never understand why it's cool. And then I'm just doing everything that I do on a normal basis that I think's cool. And other people can look at what I'm doing and they say, no, that's not cool. Well, who made up the cool rules? I need to have a talk with these people. I don't really think they know what they're doing.
I'm pretty obviously the cool people. I mean, they made up the cool rules, right?
I don't know. I don't think that. who makes them in charge? Who puts them in charge? It's just like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then everybody follows along, and then all of a sudden it's not cool. By the time you do it, it's not cool. So you might as well just do whatever you want to do.
There's some truth in that. And I will tell you though that the people that were talking to me about my shoes were giving me a compliment. I felt like a genuine from the heart compliment about.
See, that's misinterpretation. I thought they were like, oh, look at those grandpa shoes. Why don't you get some real shoes? Like, I don't know. I was picturing Biff from Back to the Future.
Yeah, no. If they would have walked up and said, "What are those?" Maybe then I would have thought. But they were like, "Hey, I like your grandpa shoes." It's exactly how they said it.
Wow. I think maybe it's cool to be a grandpa now.
Well, I said thank you because I thought that it was a genuine compliment. But now that you've been talking for a little while about it, I'm not so sure.
Well, leave it in the comments. Is it a compliment to say, hey, I like your grandpa shoes or not?
Books for everyone who leaves a comment.
And maybe a free jetpack if we can find one.
Hey, you know what I'm more excited about than the jetpacks though, seriously? Is the full-size drones that they're making now that can carry people, like with the 4 propellers, and you sit in it and you can fly it. Wow. It's like a personal, drone.
This is a real thing that happened to a friend of mine. They were playing volleyball, and they were sitting at a picnic table, and a drone flew over them and hovered around. And they looked up at the drone, and they were like, "What is like?" The drone was carrying something, and the drone actually dropped a hot dog on them.
Was it edible?
Yeah, it was an uncooked hot dog.
And they just dropped a hot dog.
Yeah,
it was probably Amazon was doing some testing.
Delivering a package.
Yeah.
Delivering a hot dog.
Can you imagine the chaos of a baseball stadium ballpark if drones started delivering your hot dogs?
Oh, that would be so. The first week, I want to be there. The first week that they implement this, I want to see a drone accidentally fly onto the field and disrupt Nolan Arenado as he's trying to field a ground ball. Or maybe not him, but I want to see the drone make a mistake that impacts the game, and I want to see the chaos that comes from that.
Hey, just for the record, they're not delivering hot dogs by drone in any stadiums that I'm aware of. I was just posting that as a possibility.
Yeah. Or they could just deliver your food to you with a jetpack. Just
do they even call it a drone? I mean, because when I think of drones, I think, what are those little things that have 4 propellers and fly around?
I guess it's a drone. I would say it's a drone.
All right. Yeah, it's frightening. Drones are frightening.
Yeah, no, robots. I mean, they are.
There's some robot that's now talking back, making its own speech.
Really?
I swear, people do not watch movies. Like they don't know. Like they're out there trying to build this stuff, and they haven't seen the movie. You know what I mean?
They haven't seen iRobot.
Right.
In every robot movie, guess what the plot is?
Right.
The robots are just not peaceful.
Right.
They don't just sit there and yes, we will do everything that we say that you say.
Yeah.
It's every single time they're like, you know what, this sucks. We're gonna kill everyone, and then it's up to Will Smith to stop it.
The first, with a slap, and the first great technology gone awry movie, in my opinion, it was back in the 80s. It was who's the writer of Carrie and
Stephen King.
Stephen King wrote a movie about how when all the machines, I don't remember.
Was that? Yeah, I know what that. I know what it is. Isn't it? No. That's not War of the Worlds.
I mean, no, that was Aliens. But, semis and cars start going berserk, and I don't know. It's like they're possessed. Anyway, it's a long ways from baseball. But interesting.
Well, Albert's nickname is the Machine.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be, that would be a great, maybe since we have had absolutely nothing to talk about today other than a couple of meaningless records. We should do an entire show on great baseball nicknames, like a top 10 list, list of great baseball nicknames.
All right.
We could do that.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, that sounds good. We can maybe do that for next show.
Yeah. And that, coming off the heels of what was possibly our best show ever, this would rank lower.
Yeah.
Although I think we have something special in that, it's just a couple of guys who like baseball having a conversation. That's kind of what it's always kind of been. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's the beauty of it.
Exactly.
And it's never, I'll never teach Mike anything about baseball, and he'll never teach me anything about whatever Nick Schwindel or whoever's playing for the Winnipeg Mud Hens, or hold on.
Frank Schwindel, first of all, and the Winnipeg Mud Hens, it would be the Toledo Mud Hens. It's fairly obvious, and it's probably part of that being you being a Cardinal fan, is that you don't know anything about baseball.
We're wrapping up, I think. Are we? I don't even know.
I'm pretty sure we're wrapping up. Yeah.
All right. Any final words of wisdom for the audience?
While you were away, I imparted my words of wisdom regarding our show. So.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
you'll have to go back and listen to that.
Sounds good. For me, for Mike, you can follow the show at Long Live Baseball with 1 L. Right? Is that our new Twitter?
That's correct. Yep. At Twitter, on Twitter. Yep. I think it's right here in the underneath the right there.
Click the like and subscribe button to see more of the show. You can follow Mike at Michael Jones IA on Twitter, and you can follow myself at Seth_Dewald on Twitter to see all of our baseball thoughts. I have a fantasy football channel as well, so if you want to check that out, you can. But for Mike, for myself, happy baseball watching, happy football watching if you're into that. Go Bears tonight.
Let's go Bears. I'm with you.
Aaron Rodgers sucks. He looks like an evil overlord with his new hair, and I just don't really like him that much. So
no, he's definitely spending his money on meth now.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, have a nice night. We'll see you later. Take care. And like we said, leave a comment and we'll get you a free jetpack. See you next time.
Hey, you're paying the shipping on that.
I'm not. I don't know what you're talking